You know, the story to me is incredible. I mean, I think it's an important story for a lot of reasons. But here you had a parent that had an autistic child, and the autism was so bad that what would end up happening was the child would break their own arm, right, break their own leg, cause brain self-mutilation. And so the father said, look, you know, we gave the child gave him marijuana, and that calmed the child down. Now, you pick up from there. What happened?
There's a charge file with Child Protective Services for child abuse.
Yeah.
I just, when I read the story, I'm thinking, I got kids. You do anything as a parent to protect your kid. The kid's beating themselves, breaking their bones, and they were giving the child antipsychotic that just turned the kid into a zombie.
Yeah, right.
And that scared the parent.
Well, okay.
One of the neighbors recommends, hey, you know what? Try this pot brownie, and it worked. And they videoed the results, and the miraculous results, videoed it, and were championing medicinal use of marijuana in Texas. The Child Welfare Services picks up the story and ends up charging them with child abuse because they're advocating, look at those wonderful results it's had on my kid.
Judge says that's outrageous.
Yeah.
That's a recap, but let me pick up there, okay? Florida, for example. Charlotte's Web, we are involved, you know, again, full disclosure, our law firm's involved with the Charlotte's Web issue, and that is where there's a low THC marijuana that treats epilepsy. That you would have children that are having, you know, 50 seizures a day. All of a sudden, they're taking Charlotte's Web, and they have 0 seizures. Well, even the conservative, I mean, ultra-conservative legislature here in Florida says, yeah, this is a good idea, and we're gonna allow Charlotte's Web to be sold. The next thing that happens is medical marijuana in the state of Florida passes. Well, what has actually happened here is you've had a huge pushback from the pharmaceutical industry. You have the drug companies saying, oh, we don't want people using marijuana because it's going to cause some awful, horrendous results. Well, awful, horrendous results we've seen at this law firm for 35 years, where you have products that are killing people brain damage, products that are killing people from kidney failure, liver failure, heart failure, DVTs, name it, we've seen the full expanse of it. Compare that to medical marijuana that's been used all over the country, and people are getting great results from this. Charlotte's Web probably is going to save the lives of thousands of kids, people all over this country.
Quality of life, and all it's doing is cutting into the bottom line of big pharma. You're getting pushback, and the stigma of marijuana, although it's got great results, especially the strains like Charlotte's Web. What in the world could be wrong with helping out these folks other than cutting into bottom lines of big pharma that you're getting this pushback?
Yeah, okay, so big pharma is pissed. Big pharma is trying to use the prosecution card. They're scaring the heck out of the banking industry. So these people are they're selling medical marijuana. They're having to do everything in cash. Sometimes you'll see them able to use a very special credit card, but if you got a distributor of medical marijuana, the feds make it so difficult for that person to do banking business, and the banks, of course, they're cave in on any kind of threat at all. They're saying, well, I'm sorry, we can't be involved because we're a continuation of a conspiracy. But that's actually happening here, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. I mean, that's what's happening all over the country. We've got a good alternative to big pharma. It's working. People are using it. The ramifications aren't horrific. It's working great. Why not use it?
Well, why not use it? Because the pharmaceutical industry is pushing back. You know what they're doing? They're creating front groups. They're fraudulent. They're just making up front groups.
Making up science.
Mothers against medical marijuana. Well, no, it's Pfizer and Merck and Lilly against marijuana because it's cutting into their business. This story is going to continue getting more interesting. We're following it because we're involved in the Charlotte's Web business, and we've been watching it from day one. And the feds really had better pay attention to what they're doing here.